Take your breath away. Come see the natural beauty as truly Guyanese. Feel the thunder of the Niger falls, majestic and unique. Roraima Airways, we'll take you there.
Introduce to you the master of ceremonies for this evening, this special occasion. He is none other than a man who has been from day one with Roraima Airways. He's part of the family, of course, of the Gavayas, and he's a man in his own right, one who moves and continues to preside over our aviation sector and also to direct the affairs with regards to the growth of Roraima Group of Companies. At this time, I would like to introduce to you the master of ceremony. He is none other than Captain Jerry Gavaya Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the master of ceremony.
All right, good evening again, ladies and gentlemen, and no surprise there, I am your master of ceremonies, and I'm going to be your fun director this evening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned before, Delon said this is our birthday. It is 25 years today. Can I have a round of applause, please? 25 years ago, I wish I can take the credit. However, I was just about 5 years old. So I really was not part of the forming process. However, I like to believe that I was there from day one, messing around the cords when they're trying to do work by their computer. All right, so Mom and Dad, thank you so much. You guys have been visionaries from the beginning, and the teamwork that you guys exemplified has created this company and this team that we see before us with us this evening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to introduce the CEO of Roraima Airways, the former major in the GDF, and Captain Gerald Gavaya, but I like to call him father and life giver.
I think the song is called Where Have the Years Gone? And it's really 25 years. And for both Debbie and I, it really did look like only yesterday. But along the way, it was a very, very exciting journey. And it was one that started with 4 of us in a little office in Bel Air Park 25 years ago. I was very fortunate to win the Government of Guyana scholarship to one of the best and most prestigious aviation universities in the world, Amarillo Aeronautical University. Never in my wildest dreams could I imagine that I would be given that opportunity. And silently, I made a commitment to contribute to the development of Guyana for the rest of my life. That the foundation of Roraima, where we are 25 years today, got a lot to do with the whole philosophy. And if you look at the mission statement and vision statement of this company, I am not a very good businessman because the philosophy, the grounding philosophy of this company is corporate social responsibility. The grounding philosophy of this company is the satisfaction it gives me from creating the jobs. When I look around this room, we started with 4 persons in 1992, and today there's 275 young people, young Guyanese, just like I was coming out of Lodge. And these young Guyanese have today emerged, and they are doing magnificent and amazing things in the travel and tourism industry. And today, I feel vindicated. I feel that the government of Guyana have planted a fruit, and they have put me in the national service. The national service taught me one thing. It said that what the mind of a man could conceive and believe, you could achieve. And every one of you in this room need to understand that nothing is impossible. Positive thinking, constructive thought, and coming out of national service and building Roraima to where it is today gives me enormous satisfaction. Now, for some people, and today I was in a meeting with Norma McLean, and he is a legend. He's 83 years old, and 25 years old is a speck in time for him. 25 years old for us, the rest of us, is a lifetime, a huge lifetime. And he was laughing at me today to say, oh, that 25 years old is nothing. Well, 25 years old is a lifetime. And when we look at the growth of Roraima, when we started, we did not have a plane. We did not have a boat. We did not have anything. What we had was determination, we had grit, and most importantly, we had the quality that people could depend on us, people could trust us. And so, back in 1992, when I wanted to buy my first plane, I wrote Golden Star and Oh My Gold Mines and asked them to guarantee a loan for $500,000 US so I could go and buy my plane. But the bank in England that I wrote said I need a corporate guarantor. So I went to Hilbert and we went to David Fennell, and they said that the board of directors of OMI will consider whether they will give me this corporate guarantor for this loan that the bank will give it to me. And so I waited outside the boardroom while the directors of OMI at the time, Clifford Reese, Edward Lucku, Donald Ramatar, Haslim Paris, sat in that room with the Canadian directors to consider whether they will give me this guarantor to get this loan for this $500,000. And when they came out, they came to me and they said, well, they called me in the room and said, Jerry, we are very sorry. We are not going to give you the guarantees, but we're going to give you the loan. And they wrote a check for $500,000 and handed it to me to go and buy my first plane. For the young people in the room, this is because these people trusted me. These people knew that even as a young man that I was not going to be reckless and irresponsible and run away with the money. And this is what it called, this is what is required as you move through your life to dispel all possibilities of people creating the impressions that they cannot depend on you, that they cannot rely on you, that you're not going to be efficient. And over the years, my whole life has been covered by that whole principle, where people that I did not even know will come to the table and will offer to help us to move forward. We saw it when we had the first helicopter. The Canadian investor came to Guyana and he said, Jerry, if you ever need a helicopter, call me. And the day we needed one, he called him. He came here, he landed at Timeri, he handed me the keys. He said, sign at the bottom here. He left a $1.5 million US helicopter in my hands, flew out to Guyana, and he said, whatever profit we make, we'll burst it in half. And I hand the keys to Owen Sandiford, and from there we had a helicopter operation for 5 years here in Guyana, flying for Golden Star. And the story goes on. Today, Roraima operates 16 divisions. 16 divisions. The Ogle operations is obviously, our airline is the center of it all. We have 6 airplanes. We started with the Islanders. Today we have the Trilanders. We have the Cessna 402. And we set up our own AMO at Ogle. I said to myself, if I ever form the company, I will call it Roraima. I didn't know it was going to be Roraima Shoe Company, Roraima Beverage Company, but I knew it was going to be called Roraima. And so many, many years after that, in 1992, when Debbie and I were forming this company, we first of all called it Gavaya Consultancy, but that didn't sound too nice. And then we went down to the lawyer and we named it Roraima Airways after Mount Roraima. So that is the genesis behind the formation of this company. This company has been growing from strength to strength. We have some labels in this company. We said nothing is impossible. There's no member of this staff, if we ask to do something, they will say it can't be done. We always find a way to get it done. And invariably we do. And so when you look at our operations at Arrow Point, and you look at our tourism services that we do probably 3 or 4 flights a week to the Kaitro Falls and the Irokrama walkway and conservation site. We are very, very proud of what we've been able to achieve. Over the last 4 years, Roraima have taken on a different role. In the last 10 years, we've worked with North American Airlines, we've worked with Delta Airlines, and then Dynamic Airways came to Guyana. A lot of people, they're cynical sometimes without knowing the facts of what happened and what the contribution Dynamic Airways made to Guyana. And Dynamic started here in 2004 and they stumbled. And they stumbled badly. But I'll tell you, by 2015 and 2016, Dynamic contribution to Guyana, to the stabilization of prices, to the creation of the opportunity that people all over the diaspora could travel to Guyana who could not have afforded before. Dynamic is not cheap, Dynamic is affordable. So Dynamic was offering prices of $550 and $600 for people to come back home. And we moved in 2016, 80,000 Guyanese between New York and Guyana and back to New York. 80,000 Guyanese. We did 224 flights, or programmed 224 flights in 2016. We had 3 cancellations. We had 190 of those flights that went absolutely on time, plus or minus 15, 20 minutes. And then we had some that went more than 30 minutes late. But in any examination, 85% on time is a pass, a big pass. But you listen to the negaholics and the cynical people, and they sometimes minimize the impact that Dynamic has had on the economy, on the tourism industry. And then we started working. So our relationship with Dynamic is one of a partnership. Where Roraima, we are very much involved with Dynamic. We've made the commitment from day one that we were going to stay with them. And we are very proud to be their partners here in Guyana. And they are growing from strength to strength. Dynamic Airways and myself, we're now looking at St. Vincent as a new destination. St. Vincent just finished building a beautiful, modern airport. They have a huge population in the New York area. And we're now going to be extending our services into St. Vincent. Insulair out of Curacao started flying here when they came. Because we always understood traditional travel out of Canada and the US. When they came, they started talking about non-traditional routes from across the northern part of the Caribbean. Haiti, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, and so on. And we started working with Insulair, and Insulair started connecting Guyana every morning with 29 destinations across this region. In the last couple of months, the most exciting venture for Roraima was Easy Sky. Easy Sky that started their operations out of Cuba and Honduras. And we saw an amazing influx of Cubans. Cuba is a wonderful, beautiful country with amazing things to see. And the country is emerging and changing, and it's changing, and people are seeing all kinds of opportunities in Cuba today. The tourism in Cuba is amazing. And when I started to talk to my partners about doing this operation to Cuba, we did not anticipate how big this was going to grow. And today, we are landing 1,000 Cubans onto Guyana's soil every week with these flights. And the Cubans are here, they're enjoying Juke Lodge, they're enjoying Residence Inn, they're enjoying the cities, they're shopping in our shopping areas, they're staying in our small hotels. And this is contributing, all of these things are contributing to the economic development of Guyana. In 1 month from today, approximately, Easy Sky, Dynamic, and Roraima is going to be setting up shop in St. Vincent. That is the new dispensation for this company. We are going to be flying out in New York to St. Vincent. We're going to be flying out of Curacao to St. Vincent. We're going to be flying out of Cuba to St. Vincent. We're going to duplicate exactly what we're doing in Guyana. I just came back from St. Vincent, and there's an amazing amount of optimism about private sector development, and their entire attitude of the government is giving the private sector a lot of confidence to invest and to be there. And so a lot of you involved in the ground handling, our domestic planes, the trilanders, we are looking at the possibility of setting up our operation to connect St. Vincent with Grenada, Antigua, Barbados as well. St. Vincent is going to be the new dispensation. More particularly, we've always connected Guyana with Barbados, we've always connected Guyana with Trinidad. We are now going to connect Guyana with St. Vincent. And you're going to hear more about it. That is a new dispensation for Roraima, and we will continue the evolution and development of this company with the objective of creating jobs, making Guyana a better place, and always promoting Guyana. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow workers of Roraima, I want to thank you all for being here. This is 25 years, is a lifetime. I particularly want to thank Debbie. Debbie stood right beside me every step of the way, and she kept me grounded. I made the point today that when people ascend to leadership positions, leadership is a disease. Sometimes they get too big, they believe they know everything, they don't listen to people. Well, I have some people around me that keep me grounded. Larry Barkley, Mitra, Debbie, particularly. And then there's nobody else that keep me as flat-footed and grounded as my two sons, Jerry and Kevin. They always remind me that I don't know it all. And that is important because I've seen many, many people elevate themselves into leadership and businessmen, and they suddenly believe that they know it all. But I have a group of people around me, Sasha, Jillian, Sonia, not Sonia. Sonia always makes me feel like if I could do anything. Where is she? Where's Sonia? Sonia was if I say chooses Wednesday, Sonia say, yes, sir. Not Sasha, though. Sasha remind you. So I am very, very happy with my staff. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends who are here, I want to say to you, what you are looking at here is amazing young people who are hardworking, they're innovative, they go way beyond the call of duty, and tonight you'll see, I would love to award every one of you guys, but we have to pick a few of you, and you'll see it here tonight. So thank you very, very much for coming, and it is 25 years, and I deserve the time that I took up here. Thank you very much.
All right, folks, please keep it going for Captain Gavaya. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next I'm going to ask someone. He is a leader in the private sector, and he definitely is a close friend of Dad's. Mr. Desmond Sears, would you mind coming up to the podium and saying a few words, please?
Following Jerry is indeed a very difficult task. And this is to the employees. Your dedication contribute to the success. Your personal commitment for excellence has inspired others to push for the company. It is a day to thank the employees for the hard work and effort throughout the year. This day was set aside for the purpose of strengthening the bond between employee and employer. It is now an opportunity for the managers, for the company leadership, to remember the importance of appreciating employees. This special event is for your special recognition for the workers. It is considered a driver of employees' happiness and continued engagement. This can result in a higher retention and increased productivity. I think Captain Gavaya said it all, and I take the opportunity tonight to wish you well in continued growth for Roraima Group of Companies. Thank you.
This man has been with Dad through it all. Through his time at OMI, when he formed Roraima Airways, when he had me, he chose this gentleman to be my godfather, and I've had the very distinct pleasure of having this man as a mentor, as well as a godfather. Just in case anything ever happens, I know I'll be in good hands. Major General Norman McLean, sir, would you mind please coming to the stage? You know that Dad will never ever forget you when it comes to saying a few words on his behalf.
All I can say is that I have great respect and admiration for Jerry Gavaya. he told you about him joining the National Service. And I am glad to see that he thinks very highly of his stint. And most of the people who went into the National Service will share that same experience, that National Service was a great experience for young people. We learned to share and what have you, and it gave us a wonderful opportunity. Jerry was telling you about the $100,000 and the 5-year contract. There should have been a 15-year contract, to tell you the truth, because at 5 years, what you've done is damaged quite a few planes, and Jerry has done a little bit where that is concerned, especially in national service. I had the misfortune of being the Director General when he crashed a plane with the Prime Minister's daughter on board. So I don't have to tell you the sort of experiences we had after that. So when you are a pilot for 5 years, that's when you do most of your damage, because you're making mistakes, you're a young pilot, you don't have the experience, and so you're costing the government more than the $100,000 because of the amount of damage that you're doing. So by the time you sign the contract is when you are really now free to go and do as you like. So Jerry had that experience. And even when he got older, and I think Mr. Shields will talk some of that, we had a strike at Omai. And so Jerry was told that, look, you have to feed these people because the strike meant you can't feed a lot of expatriates who we had there. So Jerry was busy flying back and forth with KFC chicken, back and forth to feed the expatriates there. And I was at the airstrip when he left. And then we couldn't find him. And that was really traumatic because the next morning we had a staff meeting on the issue. And it was one of the few times that I really was in tears, because here I felt my protege was lost until we found him hung up in some tree with bats at his face and what have you. And so we've had a lot of experiences together, and Larry London shouldn't talk either, because that would be another set of experiences that I'll have to share with Larry London and him. So I'm not going to share all those experiences, but I'm telling you it was a great ride, a great experience to work with these young men. And sometimes I feel I must have done something good, because a lot of the young men turned out to do their own businesses. And I am very proud to have had a little hand in molding some of them and making them what they are. Jerry is an outstanding example when he talks about the number of divisions he has. And I share some of my human resources experience with them, and I'm very proud of what they've been doing. And he has the vision. And the man that he needs to remember as well, there are two. One is a man by the name of Louis Gignac, who Mr. Shields would know. He was the chairman of that board, who said they didn't need a bond for him to sign any paper. They just gave him the damn check, the end of matter. And that has been the good things which have made Jerry what he is. And we are very proud, very, very proud of him. I'm very proud of Jerry, and I want to talk about Debbie, because behind, they say, I don't think it's behind, it's in front of every good man is a better woman. And Debbie was a stalwart, and she was a strong woman. And I spoke about this at the wedding expo. He made the mistake of inviting me up there to talk. And I remember us all getting ready for this big wedding and what have you. And then he chickened out. Goodbye, chickened out. And I don't know what we had to do to talk with Debbie, but she was a master to be able to overcome that. And then we had the wedding, and this is what led to this creation of my good friend Tojo. That's what I call him, Tojo. And so I better don't talk anymore. I better just leave it. I better leave it as it is. I'm very proud of him. He's like a son of mine. He's my protege, as all the rest are. And we moved mountains and did wonderful things. And I want to congratulate him on this 25th anniversary of a dynamic company. He's working for Dynamic now, but he's a dynamic company and he's a dynamic young man. I'm very proud of him to be my protege. Thank you very much.
He has been in aviation for, I think, in excess of half a century. And he is definitely the man when it comes to developing Guyana's aviation. He is now playing a very pinnacle role as our Director General of Civil Aviation. The next gentleman I'm going to introduce to you is none other than Colonel Edbert Fields, and he is the Director General of the Civil Aviation here in Guyana, and he has been a mentor for my dad, your CEO, Captain Jerry Gavaya. Round of applause for Colonel Edbert Fields.
Good evening, Master of Ceremonies, distinguished guests, and colleagues, workers. Quite a special day today. 25 years, a quarter century. I remember the days when Jerry and I flying together, and I saw this logo being designed and redesigned on numerous occasions. And I said to myself, what is he doing? This must be an artist. But it wasn't that he was practicing art. It's that he had a vision. And that vision came to fruition. Jerry and I go back many years, and also Debbie. In the mid-70s, when Jerry joined the Guyana Defense Force, I was the officer in charge of the fixed wing, and he, as a second lieutenant, would enter into my meetings, and every time I saw him, I remember the 3 B's. He was always brash, bold, and brave, confronting me at my meetings. He brought that same disposition into his business. We flew many long hours, had many adventures together. One significant was the Fort Kaituma, or let's say the People's Temple, the massacre that took place, or the suicide, whatever you want to call it. So we had many adventures together. The nights we flew together, I see he has taken that and brought it into his company, and now performing all the mercy flights for the evenings. In 2003, or 2002, going to 2003, I remembered certifying his company as the Flight Operations Inspector in the Civil Aviation Authority at that time. And he was always ready to do what the authority wanted him to do, as against those who would always try to fight against you. I guess he was thinking about his business and bringing it to a point where it would be beneficial not only to himself, but to his little staff of just about 10 persons. So I certified the airline in 2003, 2004. I left in 2004, and even though I was overseas, Jerry kept in contact with me, and it was all about building his business, his airline, and wanting it to be an airline that complied strictly with the rules and regulations as stated by ICAO. I'm now back, and my office is always bombarded by him. That's why I said he continues with his 3 B's: bold, brash, and brave. This company, which eventually blossomed out, to other areas, or he used that as a stepping stone to eventually build a chain of businesses, the hotels, etc. I can attest to that. They are businesses of excellence. And I'm not saying this because I know Jerry. I'm saying this because I know exactly what goes on in the company. As the Director General for Civil Aviation, I keep a very close eye on the companies. And when it goes on the other side, I pull no punches like Dynamic. Last year, I called him in, I called in his company and spoke to them strongly. And he complied. He gave me what I wanted, or he gave me what the authority wanted. But I'm not going to go on about what his company is like. We all know what it is like. I'd like to switch to his wife, Debbie. I've known Debbie before they got married, and I'm saying, Debbie, she holds one of those bees. She's a very brave woman. I never thought that it would have come to the point when they got married, but Debbie has been there with him, not to the side, but she has been leading the way. Don't let him tell you otherwise. She has been leading the way and really setting the pace. She was the silent majority. So, Jerry, at this time, I'd like to say how happy I am to see that what you started drawing from the cockpit of the Islander, when I thought you were just being an artist, but to see what it has grown to. The young people in your company, I would advise them, take a page out of the book. Imagination, and let your imagination grow. Let it grow so that it can bear fruit and eventually be as successful. Follow Jerry as your mentor in his business dealings. Roraima, the civil aviation will continue to watch over you. Just ensure that you don't take any side roads or you don't sidetrack. And so far, I could say that you're on track with what you're doing and where you're going. So congratulations. May the next 25 years bring you all the success you want for yourself. And I noticed that there has started some succession planning. So please continue. Congratulations to all the staff for doing such a good job. By you doing such a good job, it makes my work easier when it comes to monitoring your performance and monitoring your operation. So congratulations.
All right, thank you, DG. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start our award ceremony. But before we do, I would like everyone to take a solemn moment of silence to remember Captain Alvin Clark. He was our chief pilot up until very recently. He passed away, but he left a mark and he left a legacy that the young pilots, the young professionals, and anyone who came in contact with him has definitely left a mark on us, and it is something that we aspire to be every single day. For those of you who don't know, Captain Clark, serving as your chief pilot, spearheaded a lot of the most of the nighttime Mercy medical evacuation flights into the jungle, and he has saved countless lives over many years without asking for an ounce of thank you or praise or glory. And that is the definition of a hero, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to ask everyone to please take a moment of silence and we can remember our hero, Captain Alvin Clark. Thank you, everyone. With that minute and that solemn minute, I'm going to invite Captain Larry Barkley to the stage, and he is going to be starting the awards ceremony along with Miss Glennis Archer, our HR manager, and they're going to be presenting the awards to the heroes that we have here in the company this year. We're also going to be acknowledging a lot of the heroism as well as the outstanding performance of the staff that happened last year during some major events that happened in the company. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Captain Larry Barkley and Miss Glennis Archer.
Good evening, everyone. And this evening, I would like to start the awards. The management of Roraima Airways hereby wishes and sincerely recognize and commend Miss Jillian Chase. Miss Alana Sitaram. Give a round of applause. Mrs. Vidita Balaram. Mr. Mitra Ramkumar. Mr. Bolanot Bejanot. He is one of my staff and one of my dearest staff. He is super dependable at all times, 24 hours a day. Mr. Derek Doman. Derek is currently working beyond the call of duty. And Derek is being awarded this evening for his sustainable dependability over the years, beyond the call of duty, for his willingness to respond at any hour and to respond to any request as a driver of company vehicles. Derek's grandson is here, who will be receiving the award on his behalf. Please come forward. His son, my bad. Basudewa Lenny Rupchand. Our ramp supervisor at the Tamari, the ground handling operations, Mr. Godfrey Tomo Thomas. Mr. Edward Eddie Williams. That can be no other than Ms. Sacha Posada. Is chef extraordinaire, is Devon Bacchus. The next category of awardees are persons who have contributed to the growth and operations of Roraima Airways throughout the 25 years of its operation. These are our special awardees, and our first special awardee is none other than a village, an Amerindian reservation that has partnered with us for in excess of a decade. I am corrected, for in excess of 2 decades. this Amerindian reservation has stood with us, has understood the necessity and the economic viability of sustainable and non-intrusive tourism activities, has worked with us throughout the development of the Arrow Point Nature Resort, and has not ever tried to unfairly gain any more than they could have at the time, and is truly a partner in the process. I speak of none other than the Santa Mission Village. And the Santa Artak Amerindian Reservation. May I have the representative? Roraima Airways has adopted the school, the primary school in the village, and assists in providing supplies and assists in the maintenance of that school. We partnered with CIMAP to build a library in the village, and our tours pass through the village. And building a business requires capital. And in this case, this business was built with the capital of the two people you see on the stage. There were no other large operations that this business sprung out of. So it is very important to have a very good relationship with your bank. This evening we would like to appreciate and award Republic Bank Guyana Limited. There are times in life you say thank you to someone. And unfortunately, there are times when that someone departs before you get a chance to say another thank you. I speak of none other than our dearly departed Captain Alvin Clark, who is awarded posthumously for his valor and his continuous efficiency execution of medevacs during his lifetime and during his tenure with Roraima Airways. We will have a representative of his family collecting this award for him tonight. The icing on the cake is her pleasant demeanor and can-do attitude. This is a woman who never says, "That's not my job." And for that reason, this evening, she will receive the prestigious and esteemed award of the Roraima Airways Employee of the Year. That woman is none other than Miss Simone Morgan. To those of you who have not been awarded, keep striving for it. So at the end of the year, you will be up here. And I would like to ask in closing that we all give a loud round of applause for our awardees. Come on, we can do better than that. Come on, come on. Thank you very much. I hand you back over to Jerry.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Captain Larry Barkley, thank you very much. And to all of the awardees, congratulations, congratulations. If I haven't had a chance this evening yet to say thank you and congrats, well, I'm saying it now, and I will find you later and say it in person. As Larry mentioned, we couldn't award everyone. We would love to. However, we have to get to the 30 and the 35 and the 40 and the 45, and we're going to keep going that way. It's because of you guys that we're growing from strength to strength. I'm going to ask someone with extreme prestige and excellent, who has an excellent relationship with Dad. He always seems to find his way into conversations whenever Dad and I speak of anything to do with public policy, public relations, any sort of academia really. And he is a gentleman of, no short order. He is a world-renowned professor. I'm going to be calling to the stage to say a few words for Captain Gavaya, Dr. Ivelaw Griffith, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Guyana. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ivelaw Griffith.
I want to see a vote on my left hand that I have a 15-second speech, and in my right hand I have a 10-minute speech. Which hand do you want to vote for? The right hand? The long speech? I think we'll go with the short speech. Excellency, President Ramatar, Honorable Minister Joe Harmon, ladies and gentlemen all, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking of someone who comes to mind every time there is an opportunity to celebrate a milestone. Whether the milestone is a birthday of an individual or the milestone is a celebration of an institutional anniversary. And 25 years is no mean milestone. And so I want to share with you and enable you to understand the wisdom of someone who I was thinking about as I sat there. It's a gentleman who, if you were to ask who would be among the top 10 scientists of the 20th century, the name Albert Einstein would come to mind. Albert Einstein, as you know, was a migrant, an émigré, flee from Germany, and he spent several decades in New Jersey, and he had a simple sentence on a wall, his blackboard wall. The sentence said, "Not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted." Let me repeat that Einstein proposition. Not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted. Einstein was reminding us that in life, there are occasions when you can easily tally things, you can enumerate, you can count. But sometimes it's not simply the numbers that matter, it's what counts. And sometimes what counts is not easily counted. And I want to suggest, ladies and gentlemen, there is a relevance of that Einsteinian proposition to Roraima Airways Company. We can count the number of years the company has been in business, 25. But I think what really counts, what really matters, is what the company was able to do over those 25 years. What really matters is the endurance. There are so many companies that don't make it past 5 years, or 10 years, or 20 years. So you've got to take plaudits and give credit for endurance, for having those stumblings and those risings. But how many companies in Guyana that can take pride in having a corporate social responsibility where they save lives? I think saving lives counts. Saving lives matter. How many companies not only are looking at the bottom line economic balance sheet, but are making investment in communities of our indigenous people? I think when we applaud the Roraima Airways Company, we need to applaud not only the number of years that they have been able to do business, we also need to applaud what really counts, what they have done over those 20 years. So I want to encourage you to salute and to take inspiration from the people like Jerry and team that have enabled Guyana to be better for what they have been able to do. But let me say one other thing before I go to my seat. University of Guyana, that I have the privilege of heading, will shortly be establishing a school of business. And part of what we'll be doing in that school of business is looking at cases like the Roraima company, Roraima Airways, that enables us to understand what entrepreneurship is all about. How do you start with 4 and get to 270? That is not simply something that happens. And so I'm be looking for cases of entrepreneurship, enabling young entrepreneurs in and out of Region 4 to find ways not only to form companies, but to benefit from people who have been able to endure for 2.5 decades. There are lessons from companies like Roraima Airways doing things not only that we can count, but also things that really count, things that really matter. So join me in saluting Jerry and team in doing for Guyana things not only that can be counted, but things that also count. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker is someone of great importance. We are honored to have him with us this evening. I'm going to ask you, Sir, His Excellency President Donald Ramotar, if you won't mind coming up and saying a few words on this momentous occasion.
Good evening, special invitees, staff, the management of Roraima Company. Allow me to say that I believe I know this company from its early days when Jerry started this company, and I've watched it grow over the years, and it has become a very important company in Guyana's landscape of business at this point in time. And I just want to take the opportunity to wish all of you very well and hope that the company continues to grow from strength to strength. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And finally, I would like to invite to the podium our final speaker of the evening, Honorable Minister Joe Harmon. We are also in great honor to have him with us this evening, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he is going to grace us on this magnificent milestone.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think that all protocols have been established before. We've heard from the historians of Roraima. We've heard from Einstein. We've heard from a former president. And therefore, there's nothing much left for me to say, but to congratulate Roraima for 25 years of sterling service to Guyana, for providing a safe and stable employment opportunity for so many young Guyanese. As I look around here, I can see young faces who are so happy to be working in a company. And this is something that, as a nation, we have to strive to have. People who are happy to be where they are. And this level of happiness, Jerry, I believe, is something that will certainly commend you for some form of honor at some point in time in the history of this country. I want to also congratulate the awardees who have actually given yeoman service to the company. I recall 5 years ago when the company celebrated its 20th anniversary. I was right here at the back with former President Ramotar, Mr. Norman McLean, and they were talking about the 20 years of Roraima. And I challenged Jerry to make sure that this company grows in a methodical manner for another 20 years. I think you've done 5 years and 15 more to go. I believe you have done an excellent job. And so on behalf of the government, if nobody has done so far, Jerry, on behalf of President Granger, on behalf of the government of Guyana, I want to congratulate Roraima Airways for being a beacon in this country. You have done excellent work not only in search and rescue, You have done excellent work in tourism. You have done excellent work in the ministry, in the business sector. And therefore, I believe we owe a debt of gratitude to you, Jerry, and to your family for what you have done to this country. Very often, some of the things that we do go unheralded. And very often, things that military people do go unheralded. So let me congratulate you as a former military man to another military man, Jerry, for the excellent leadership that you have provided in industry, in commerce, and the excellent leadership you are providing to these young people who are part of your company. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to all of you who've actually been awarded here tonight. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister Joe Harmon. Those words were very inspiring, especially as an up-and-coming leader in the country. Thank you very much for that, sir. I would like to call to the stage to give the vote of thanks. Probably the most respected man in my book. He's definitely somebody that I look up to, even though the tables should be reversed. He is none other than my brother, the pilot chef, or whatever how you want to put it, my brother, Kevin Gavaya.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kevin Gavaya. I would like to thank everyone from the Diplomatic Corps for coming this evening, members of the private sector, all these special invitees, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to help us honor our employees, our team members, and ultimately, really our family. Congratulations, because I get a round of applause for all of our wonderful employees. Right, I would like to congratulate all the awardees. You guys honestly deserve it more than anyone. Each and every one of you really do a great job, and without you, we wouldn't be here. We would have probably failed in our first year. So once again, congratulations and thank you. Save your applause till the end because I have a lot of people to thank, right? I would like to thank the Steel Band for our live entertainment. I know they packed up already. And I would like to send a special thank you to the staff of Duke Lodge. Every year you guys sacrifice your employee day to help work and make the event very enjoyable for everyone else. So I would like to thank especially the kitchen and members of our service staff. Thank you very much.
Roraima Airways stands above, committed to the highest standards. Serve the country, we are love. For business or pleasure, we satisfy your needs. Are you over rivers and mountain peaks? Roraima Airways soars above. Roraima Airways, fly with us. Show you the splendor. Take your breath away. Come see the natural beauty as truly Gaia leaves. Feel the thunder of the Niger falls, majestic and unique.